Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now, today on the Ryan Awesome Show, I'll be talking about WWE WrestleMania 2021 Night 1. And so, yeah, this is the first ever WrestleMania review on the Ryan Awesome Show. And overall, man, it was a good show. Wasn't it wasn't the best show, but it was a good show. We had some great matches on this show. We had the Lashley and McIntyre match, which I loved. That opened up the show. You had the Sasha Banks and the Bianca Belair match, which was the main event. That was also a great match. And you had the Rollins versus Cesaro match, which I loved. So those are my top three matches on the show. The Bad Bunny match, it was good too. But the only match on this show that I didn't like was the tag team match, the women's tag team match. But I'm gonna get into that when we get through the show. So yeah, this is the WrestleMania review, first ever WrestleMania review on the Ryan Awesome Show for Night 1, 2021. And if you haven't done this already, man, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you'll be the first ones to know when my next videos will come out. Because just like what I said before, I'm here each and every single week. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. And I did watch the pre-show, but nothing happened on the pre-show. They were just going over the matches. And so we started off the show. We had Vince McMahon and the rest of the roster. They were outside. They were on the stage and everything. And you had Vince McMahon welcoming everyone to WrestleMania, the fans and stuff to WrestleMania. And and that was it. That was it with the start of the show. And then we had, right after that, we had Bebe Rhexa. She sung America the Beautiful. And so yeah, she sung the song. You had a guitarist, and so you had the whole roster on stage. Everybody, you saw their reaction too. I saw Rhea Ripley; she was crying. So yeah, it was a feel good moment for everybody to just be there in front of fans, man. And so yeah, that was nice to see. And so yeah, right after the American national anthem was sung, like they had to stop the show for a second. They had to stop the show because of the weather and stuff, because the weather was acting up. There was a storm, and so they had to stop it for like 10 minutes. And so during this we had interviews. Throughout the roster we had interviews from everyone. About their matches and stuff. Just to kill time. We had got interviewed. And so yeah, first yeah, it was Shane McMahon, and then you had Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, and the New Day, and then you had Bianca Belair, you had Kevin Owens, and yeah, that was it. And so yeah, and talking about how they're gonna win their matches. Everyone was talking about how they're gonna win their matches and stuff, how they're ready to fight and everything. And so yeah, oh yeah, and Braun Strowman too. Braun Strowman was another person, and Shane McMahon was another person that were interviewed. And so yeah, so so yeah, to start off the show, I'm gonna skip ahead to the first match of the show. So yeah, so so yeah, to start off the show, when everything got back to normal, we had Titus O'Neil and Hulk Hogan. They had came out, the hosts of WrestleMania. They came out and they were hyping up the crowd and everything. And I was like, man, I was like, dude, just start the show already, man. Like, stop pandering to the crowd. You already done that earlier. I was like, man, just get to the show. That's what I was waiting for. I was like, man, can these two go away? I just want the show to start. And so yeah, we started off the show, and it was for the WWE Championship, and it was Drew McIntyre, the Scottish Psychopath, versus Bobby Lashley, who was the WWE Champion with MVP in his corner. And so yeah, this is a great match to open up this show, man. And you had Drew McIntyre came out first. Drew McIntyre's reaction to the crowd was, I loved it. I love it, dude. It looked like he wanted to cry, but he held back those tears, man. It was a feel good moment for McIntyre, bro. And so yeah, and then we had Bobby Lashley. He had came out to the ring, and you had the entrance. I love the entrance when they had the lightning. They had the lightning, going down. I love that entrance. And you have like a montage of Bobby Lashley beating down people. And so yeah, to start off the match, they were using each other's strength against each other, and we had a shoulder tackle to McIntyre. And so yeah, we had an overhead belly to belly suplex to Lashley. And so yeah, they were going back and forth with strikes. And then we had Lashley, he had threw McIntyre into the barricade, so they're fighting outside the ring. And then we had a neck breaker to Drew McIntyre, and he kicked out. And then Lashley, at one point, he had ran into the ring post, shoulder first, and so McIntyre, he started to target Bobby Lashley's arm. And so yeah, and then McIntyre, he had locked in the arm bar, and so Lashley, he fought out of the arm bar, and then we had a clotheslines to Bobby Lashley, and then we had an overhead belly to belly suplex to Lashley, so another one, so he had another one on Lashley. And so we had a future shock DDT, so McIntyre, he tried to go for the future shock DDT, and then Lashley, he had fought out of it. And then we had a Northern Light suplex to Bobby Lashley, and Lashley, he had kicked out. And then we had a lifting, it looked like a lifting cutter. So he had him he had him on the shoulder, and he had hit a cutter to Drew McIntyre. And then McIntyre, he had kicked out of that. And so yeah, we had a one-handed spine buster to Drew McIntyre, and McIntyre, he had kicked out of that. And so Bobby Lashley, he tried to go for the hurt lock, but McIntyre, he had fought out of the hurt lock. And so yeah, and then McIntyre, he started fighting back and everything, and he hit a reverse Alabama slam to Lashley, and then Lashley kicked out of that. And then we had McIntyre, he chopped Lashley. And then we had, McIntyre and Lashley, they were fighting on the top rope. And so McIntyre, he had locked in the Kimura lock on Lashley. And so yeah, and then yeah, Lashley, Lashley ended up fighting out of it, and Drew McIntyre, he was hanging upside down on the top rope, and then he ended up throwing Lashley. He ended up sitting back up and then throwing Lashley off the top rope into the ring. And so yeah, and then McIntyre, he tried to go for the Claymore, his finishing move, the Claymore kick. And Lashley, he had countered it with a spine buster, that one-handed spine buster. And so yeah, and so McIntyre, he had another belly to belly suplex to Lashley. And then we had McIntyre, he hit the future shock DDT 3 times. He hit it 3 times on Lashley, and Lashley, he had kicked out of it. And so yeah, McIntyre, he tried to go for the Claymore kick again, but Lashley, he had rolled out of the ring. He saw what was coming, so he rolled out of the ring. And so yeah, and then we had a Tope con Hilo, and very, very impressive dude for Drew McIntyre, hitting a Tope con Hilo to Bobby Lashley and MVP outside the ring. And McIntyre, man, he landed right on that mat outside the floor. He landed right on the floor, dude, so that was nasty. Very impressive for his size, doing a Tope con Hilo. And so yeah, we had a flatliner to Drew McIntyre. And then we had Bobby Lashley try to go for the hurt lock again. So he went for the hurt lock. And then McIntyre, he had fought out of it. And then, yeah, we had Lashley. He had a spine buster to McIntyre. So, yeah, he tried to hit the spine buster on McIntyre. But McIntyre, he had turned it into the Kimura lock. And, Lashley, he was trying to fight out of it. And he ended up grabbing the rope. And so, yeah, McIntyre and Lashley, they were going back and forth with strikes. And then we had a Glasgow kiss to Lashley. And then McIntyre again tried to go for the Claymore kick. But MVP, he was distracted. He distracted Drew McIntyre by yelling at him, yelling out his name and everything. So McIntyre, he was distracted. And so, yeah, right after he was distracted, he tried to go for the Claymore kick. And so Bobby Lashley, had, rolled out of the way. And so, yeah, so McIntyre, he was sent into the corner. And so Lashley, went for a forearm strike. So he caught him with a forearm strike. And so Lashley, he locked in the hurt lock to Drew McIntyre. And, McIntyre, he was trying to fight out of it, but he could not fight out of it. And so McIntyre, he had passed out. And so the referee had rung the bell. And so Bobby Lashley wins. So Bobby Lashley wins the match and is still the WWE champion. So Drew McIntyre did not tap out. He did not tap out. He passed out. And so the referee stopped the match. So this is a referee stoppage. And so yeah, Bobby Lashley wins and is still the WWE champion. I was shocked. I thought they were going to give it to Drew McIntyre, but I'm still happy, man. I'm still happy that Bobby Lashley won. That was one of my predictions. I wanted Bobby Lashley to win and retain the title, and they did the right thing by having Bobby Lashley retain the title. And so yeah, I thought they were going to give the win to Drew McIntyre because he didn't get the opportunity to celebrate his WWE Championship reign or his WWE Championship victory at WrestleMania last year. You know, because of the pandemic and everything. So yeah, I thought they were gonna repay him back, but they didn't do it. But yeah, other than that, man, it was an awesome match. Great match to start off the show, man. I'm telling you. And the crowd, what made the match better was the crowd, man. The crowd reaction, dude. Yeah, people were cheering for McIntyre. You had people cheering for Lashley. I think most people were cheering for Lashley. I think most of them were cheering for Lashley. That's what I think, man. And so yeah, I always love the crowd reaction because the crowd reaction can make a match or break a match, and they made this match. The crowd reaction made this match better, man. And so yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, right after that, man, we had Bayley. She was backstage with the NWO, the recently inducted Hall of Famers, and Titus O'Neil. He was backstage too. They were talking to each other, and you had Bayley. She interrupted, bragging how she's the host of her show, the Ding Dong Hello show on SmackDown. And so yeah, she wanted to join. She wanted to join the NWO, and so they just told her they just blew her off. They blew her off. They didn't much answer Bayley, and so that was it. They just left her high and dry. And so yeah, that was it with that. And yeah, man, I think Bayley should have been the host of WrestleMania instead of Hulk Hogan and Titus O'Neil. It should have been Bayley, just Bayley. Or you could have done Bayley and Titus O'Neil, but Bayley should have been the host, man. And so yeah, right after this, we had a match, and it was the number one contenders tag team turmoil match for the women's match. So yeah, the winners of that turmoil match for the tag team women's match will go on against Nia Jackson and Shayna Baszler on night two for the women's tag team championships. And dude, I did not. This is the weakest match on the show. This is the worst match on the show. I did not care about this match at all. I did not care about it. And then the outcome is what pissed me off, dude. I did not like this. I did not like this match. I did not like the outcome of this match. And so yeah, first off we had Naomi and Lana versus Carmella and Billie Kay. So two teams will start off at the same time, and whatever team gets eliminated, the next team comes out. So Naomi and Lana and Carmella and Billie Kay, they started off the match. And so yeah, Naomi, she started kicking Carmella, and then the heels, they took control of the match. They took control of Lana, so they started working on Lana. And so yeah, we had a hot tag to Naomi. She took out Billie Kay and Carmella. And so yeah, so the heels, they ended up taking advantage of this, of Naomi and everything. So yeah, we had an assisted roll up to Naomi, from Kay and Carmella. So Carmella, she rolled up. No, not Billie Kay. She had rolled up Carmella. No, Billie Kay. She had rolled up Naomi, and so Carmella grabbed the rope. So she used Carmella as leverage. Billie Kay did. She used Carmella as leverage to get Naomi eliminated with that roll up, and so Naomi and Lana were eliminated. So out next came out the Riott Squad, which was my picks. The Riott Squad were my picks to win the match, but they didn't win. And so yeah, so the Riott Squad, they took out Kay and Carmella. So yeah, we had a double team senton to Billie Kay from the Riott Squad to eliminate Billie Kay and Carmella. And so yeah, right after the elimination, we had Carmella. She was being a sore loser. She was about to super kick Ruby Riott, but Liv Morgan had pushed Ruby Riott out of the way, so Liv Morgan ended up taking the super kick. And so yeah, the next entrant came out, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. And so yeah, this is probably the funniest thing in this match. We had Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose. They were walking out to the ring, and so you had Mandy Rose. She had slipped and fell because of the floor was all slippery and stuff from the rain. And so yeah, she slipped and fell, and she got back up. So that was the funniest part of this match. And so yeah, so Rose and Brooke, they took control of the match for a little bit, and then they at one point they hit a superplex to Liv Morgan, and then Dana Brooke, she had went for a top rope splash, and so she rolled up Morgan. And so yeah, but Morgan, she ended up reversing the pinfall or reversing the roll up. And so yeah, so yeah, Dana Brooke, so she rolled up Dana Brooke. And so yeah, so Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose, they got eliminated. And so you heard the ring announcer. The ring announcer has said that the Riott Squad has been eliminated. And it was like, no, what? Like, no, they haven't. And then Michael Cole even corrected the ring announcer and said, "Hey, the Riot Squad is still here. Is Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke that's got eliminated." And so the ring announcer said, "Correction, Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose has been eliminated." And so yeah, out the next entrant came out, Natalya and Tamina. And so yeah, so Natalya and Tamina, they had came out to the ring. We had a power bomb to Liv Morgan from Natalya, and then we had a assisted senton to Tamina from the Riot Squad, and Tamina, she had kicked out. So they used the same move. They tried to use the same move that they used to eliminate Billie Kay and Carmella, and they hit the move on Tamina, but Tamina, she had kicked out of that. And so yeah, we had a super kick to Liv Morgan from Tamina, and then we had a heart attack to Ruby Riott from Natalia and Tamina. And then Natty, she tried to go for the sharpshooter. She took her time going for the sharpshooter. And then she stopped the sharpshooter, so she went for Tamina. So she said, "Tamina, you go on to the top rope. You go on to the top rope and deliver your super fly splash." And so yeah, so Tamina, she went to the top rope. Why didn't Ruby Riott move out of the way? I don't know. Why didn't book her to move out of the way? Because they took too much time. They took too much time. So Tamina, she ended up hitting a splash on Ruby Riott to win the match. So Tamina and Natalya win the match, and we'll go on to night 2 to face Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Dude, I did not. I'll say this again, man. I did not care about this match. I did not care about this match. Like, and the crowd didn't care about the match either. You barely heard the crowd in this match. You barely heard the crowd in this match. The crowd, it was quiet, man. Like, I think everybody wanted the Riot Squad to win, because the Riot Squad, they were the only legit tag team in this match. They were the only legit tag team in this match, and you didn't even give them the win. But no, you wanna throw tag teams together. Tamina and Natalya, they are not a tag team. Carmella and Billie Kay, not a tag team. Naomi and Lana are not a tag team. Mandy Rose and Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, they are a real tag team, but Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, they're not a tag team. The Riot Squad, Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott were the only legit tag team in this match, and you didn't even give them the win. You didn't give them the win. And I was pulling for them too. I was pulling for them to win, but they didn't win, man. Dude, I'm telling you, man. It would have been better off if the Riot Squad would have won. I believe it's their first WrestleMania, right? They would have had a WrestleMania moment. They would have had a WrestleMania moment. Have them win that Turmoil match. And hell, I'll even give them the tag team titles. I'll give them the tag team titles, man. I would have given them the tag team titles. I would have had them go on to night 2 and beat Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax for those titles, because Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, another team that's not a legit tag team, break those two up and send Shayna Baszler to after the Raw Women's Championship. But no, they want to put her in a tag team, dude. This match pissed me off, dude. I'm telling you, it wasn't funny, man. So yeah, that was it with that match. And so yeah, right after this match, we had a match. It was a one-on-one match, and it was Seth Rollins versus Cesaro. And so yeah, this is probably one of the best matches on the show, man, for me. And so yeah, we had Seth Rollins. He came out first with new theme music. I don't know if I like it. I loved his Messiah theme music better. I don't know why he changed his Messiah theme music to go back to his old theme music. And to change it to new theme music, I don't know why you changed it. I love the Messiah theme music. And so yeah, Seth Rollins versus Cesaro. And so yeah, from the start of the match, we had a running European uppercut to Rollins. And so we had a flying springboard uppercut to Rollins. And then Rollins, at one point, he was targeting Cesaro's arm so he could stop with the swings and everything. And so yeah. And then we had a buckle bomb to Cesaro, and Cesaro kicked out of that. And then we had a superplex follow up by a Falcon's Arrow to Cesaro. I love that move. I love when Seth Rollins hit that move. That superplex follow up by a Falcon Arrow. I love that move. And so yeah, Cesaro, he had kicked out of that. And we had a series of European uppercuts to Rollins. And so we had Cesaro, he had a discus clothesline to Rollins, paying homage to Brody Lee, paying homage to Mr. Brody Lee. And Rollins, he had kicked out of that. And then we had Cesaro, he tried to go for the Cesaro swing. And Rollins, he had fought out of it. And he hit an enziguri kick off the rope to Cesaro. And so yeah, Cesaro, Cesaro, he hit the Cesaro swing, and he went for 10 swings. He hit 10 swings after that. And so yeah, right after the 10 swings, he went for the sharpshooter, and he locked in the sharpshooter, and Seth Rollins, he grabbed the rope. And so yeah, we had a springboard knee strike to Cesaro. And then we had a sling blade to Cesaro. And then I love this spot in the match, man. We had Seth Rollins, he went to the top rope and he had a corkscrew frog splash. I love that, man. I loved it. And so yeah, very, very innovative too by Seth Rollins. A corkscrew frog splash. I don't think I ever saw that. But Seth Rollins, he hit that move. And so yeah, we had a neutralizer to Rollins. Cesaro hit his finishing move, the neutralizer, and then Rollins kicked out of that. And so yeah, so at that point they were both reversing each other's signature moves and finishing moves. And so Seth Rollins, he had a beautiful pedigree. I haven't seen Seth Rollins hit a pedigree in a long time. So he had the pedigree to Cesaro, and Cesaro kicked out. And then, at that point, right after that, we had Rollins. He was talking trash to Cesaro, saying that, I am a wrestling god. I am a god in wrestling. And so, yeah, I think Kenny Omega has something to say about that. And so, yeah, we had a forearm to the back of Cesaro's head from Rollins. And we had a curb stomp. We had a curb stomp turn into an uppercut to Rollins. And so that was a cool spot too. And so yeah, Cesaro, which is another great spot in this match. We had Cesaro. He had Seth Rollins in the torture rack position. And so he started swinging Seth Rollins around in the torture rack position without even touching him, dude. Like at first he was touching him, and then he started swinging him without his hands. So yeah, that was cool too. And so yeah, we had Cesaro. He went for the Cesaro swing, and he swung him 23 times. I thought he was gonna swing him 100 times. Some people thought he was gonna swing him 37 times because of WrestleMania 37, but he swung him 23 times. And so yeah, he followed up that Cesaro swing with the neutralizer to Rollins to win the match. So Cesaro wins the match, and finally got his WrestleMania moment, man. So yeah, they mentioned this on commentary that, they mentioned that time and time again that Cesaro, he never had a WrestleMania one-on-one match. He's competed at WrestleMania, but he's never had a one-on-one WrestleMania match. So Cesaro, this was his first one-on-one WrestleMania match, and he wins. He got his WrestleMania moment finally. And so yeah, this is an awesome match. This is probably one of the best matches on this show, man. Probably one of the best matches on the show. And yeah, the right person won. Cesaro needed that win. He needed to win that match, and he won the match. So WWE, they did the right thing by giving him the win to Cesaro. And the question is, what's next for Cesaro? What's next for Cesaro after he beat Seth Rollins, a former world champion? I'll send him at the Roman Reigns, man. I will send him at the Roman Reigns. Send him after that championship, because having a win over Seth Rollins, that's a huge win. That is a huge win. So yeah, man. And everybody reaction in the crowd, man, for Cesaro winning. I loved it, man. Everybody was happy. Everybody was pulling for Cesaro to win that match. And Cesaro, he won the match, man. And I loved it. And so, yeah, right after that, we had Kayla Braxton. She was backstage. She interviewed Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode. I'm not going to call him Robert Roode. I'm going to call him Bobby Roode, because that's what he's known as, Bobby Roode. So it's Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode, who are the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. And, Braxton, she congratulated, Ziggler and Roode for winning their match. Or retaining their titles, rather, on SmackDown. Why wasn't the SmackDown Tag Team title match on WrestleMania? I don't know why. And so yeah. Kayla Braxton, she had asked, Roode and Ziggler about AJ Styles and Omos in a Raw Tag Team Championships versus the New Day. She asked them who you think is gonna win the match, and so they went with AJ Styles and Omos. And so yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, right after this, speaking of AJ Styles and Omos, it was for the Raw Tag Team Championships. And so yeah, so it was the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods versus AJ Styles and Omos. And so yeah, first off, we had the New Day that came out first. I don't know why. The champions should always come out last. But yeah, the champions they came out first. So yeah, Big E, he introduced the New Day. So I guess that's what it was for. Big E introducing the New Day. And so yeah, he introduced the New Day. And so yeah, the New Day that came out first, and then AJ Styles and Omos came out. And so Omos he was not wearing ring gear. He was not wearing ring gear. So he had his regular clothes on. And so yeah, we start off the match counter after counter, with AJ Styles and Kofi Kingston because they know each other really well because they've been in the ring together. So they were going back and forth. We had a drop kick to AJ Styles from Kingston, and we had a splash to Styles from Kingston, and he followed it up with an elbow drop. So it was a splash to AJ Styles from Kofi Kingston, and then Xavier Woods he had hit an elbow drop to AJ Styles. And so yeah, we had the New Day. They hit they signature move, the Unicorn Stampede to Styles, and then Styles had kicked out of that. And then New Day they tried to stop AJ Styles from tagging in Omos. Omos he was the focus of the match. Everybody was talking about Omos in this match, like how he's gonna do in this match. Omos is a threat in this match. And so yeah, New Day they try to stop Styles from tagging in Omos. And so yeah, we had a double bulldog to Styles from the New Day, and then Styles had kicked out of that. And we had a basement drop kick to Styles from Xavier Woods, and then we had a diving foot stomp to AJ Styles from Kofi Kingston, and Styles had kicked out of that. And so at that point, we had the New Day. They were acting heelish in this match the entire time. So AJ Styles he came off like a babyface in this match, getting a hot tag to Omos. And so yeah, we had a springboard splash to AJ Styles to his back, to the back of AJ Styles. So in his back, so AJ he had kicked out, and yeah, it was Kofi Kingston that hit that move on AJ Styles, and Styles had kicked out of that. And then you know we had Xavier Woods, and so AJ Styles he was on the mat, and then Xavier Woods he was trying to go for a hotline move, and so AJ Styles he was close to tagging in Omos, and so Xavier Woods was pleading, AJ Styles not to tag in Omos, and so AJ Styles he just walked to Omos and just tagged him in. So he tagged in Omos, and so Omos is finally in the match, and so yeah, we had Xavier Woods. We had Xavier Woods. He tried to, drop kick. Well, he did drop kick Omos, and he kicked Omos, but Omos he no sold it. He no sold it, and so yeah, so Omos he was throwing around the new dog. He started throwing around the New Day, and so yeah, he had corner elbows to the New Day, and then we had backbreakers. So he had backbreakers to Woods and Kingston. And so yeah, this is probably one of the best spots in this match. So we had AJ Styles. He had a phenomenal forearm right off of, he had a phenomenal forearm on Xavier Woods, right off of Omos' shoulders. So he jumped off of Omos' shoulders, and Omos is a really tall dude. They say he was 7'3", so he jumped off of Omos' shoulders and hit the phenomenal forearm at Xavier Woods. And so yeah, and we had right after that we had Omos. He had a finish move, his finish move, I'm guessing, and it was the two-handed choke bomb or something like that. I think that's what it's called, a spine buster or power bomb, similar to what the Great Khali used to do to Kofi Kingston to win the match. So Omos he had pinned Kofi Kingston by putting his foot on Kingston's chest to win the match. So AJ Styles and Omos wins the match and are the new Raw Tag Team Champions. And so yeah, this is good. This is good. You know, like I don't know what is next for Omos and AJ Styles. Like right after they won the tag team titles, I don't cause you don't have anybody. You don't have nobody on the main roster. You don't have nobody on the tag team division on the main roster. You don't have nobody left but the New Day. But the New Day and the Hurt Business. You broke up the Hurt Business. I'm guessing I'm guessing Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander are still together. But they're not gonna use them. They're not gonna use them. But I don't know what nothing. There's nothing left for them because the New Day is the only team there. Like they're the only team there, so it's nothing left for them to do, man. There's nothing left for them to do. So they don't have no competition on the roster on Raw or SmackDown in the tag team division. And so yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, right after this, we had not a tag team match. We had a steel cage match, and we had special guest commentator, and it was Jerry the King Lawler. And so yeah, it was a steel cage match. It was Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman. And so yeah, Braun Strowman, he was making his entrance. He had came out second. And so yeah, during the entrance, we had Shane McMahon, who was already in the cage. He was holding the cage door, so Braun Strowman couldn't get in. And so Strowman, he was getting irritated and everything. And we had Jackson Riker and Elias from behind that attack, Strowman from behind with a chair. And so they started beating Strowman with the chair. And so yeah, so they finally get in the ring. So Braun Strowman is finally in the ring. And so yeah, we had Shane. He started hitting Strowman with the chair over and over and over again. And so we had McMahon. He tried to escape the cage, and then Braun Strowman, he had stopped him. And so yeah, we had Shane McMahon. He had hit his shadow punches to Braun Strowman, and he started kicking him and stuff. And so yeah, and then Shane, he was trying to try to weasel himself out of this match again. So he went to the top rope and he grabbed, he went to the top of the cage. And so he grabbed like a metal strip from the top of the cage and he started hitting Strowman with it. And so yeah, we had Strowman. He started fighting back. He threw McMahon into the cage. And so yeah, we had body punches to Shane McMahon. And then yeah, we had Strowman. He had ran into Shane into the cage. And so yeah, we had a DDT to Strowman. We had Shane McMahon. He had his finishing move, the coast to coast, to Braun Strowman, and Strowman had kicked out of that. And so yeah, we had Jackson Riker and Elias. They had, they tried to help, Shane McMahon win the match or help Shane McMahon escape the cage by climbing up the cage and try to grab him, try to grab him over the cage to try to get him out of there. But Braun Strowman, he had ran into the cage, knocking off Elias and Jackson Riker. And so yeah, so they were fighting on the top of the cage. Strowman and Shane McMahon were. And so McMahon, he had grabbed a toolbox. He had grabbed a toolbox. How did the toolbox get up there? I don't know. But yeah, he grabbed the toolbox and he hit Strowman with the toolbox. And so Strowman, he had fell from the top of the cage onto the mat. And so yeah, and so Shane, he climbed up he was already over the top of the cage. And so he started climbing down. And so Shane, like an idiot, was showing off. And so yeah, he was showing off. He stuck his hand through the cage hole. And he started waving goodbye to Strowman and everything. And so Strowman had grabbed his hand. And grabbed his hand, and he ripped off the side of the cage. He had ripped off the side of the cage, and so he had brought Shane McMahon back into the ring. And so, yeah, and then so they started fighting at the top of the cage again. And so Strowman, it looked like he wanted to throw him out of the ring, which would have been a dumb move that he made twice. Because he did that in the first time he had a cage match with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens beat him in a cage match. But yeah, I thought he was going to do the same thing to McMahon by throwing him off of the cage outside of the ring. But he threw him off of the cage. He did throw him off of the cage, but he threw him inside of the ring. So Braun is not stupid after all. So yeah, he threw him off of the top of the cage into the ring. And so Shane McMahon, he went splat. He went splat on that mat in the ring. And so, yeah, we had Braun Strowman hit his finishing move, the running power slam to McMahon to win the match. So, Braun Strowman wins the match. And that was it. I really didn't care about the match. I really didn't even much care about the feud, man. I didn't care about the feud. I was just waiting for this match to be over with. And, that was one hell of a nasty bump that Shane McMahon took. But, yeah, I really didn't care about the match. I'm just glad it's over. Or hopefully it's over. But, yeah, that was it with that. So yeah, with Shane McMahon, we all knew that he was gonna try something, extreme. We all knew that he was gonna jump off of something, and so that was the moment, him getting choke slam, I guess, off the top of the cage, and so yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, right after this, we had Bayley. We had the commentary team. They were talking, getting ready to play the video of the Hall of Fame inductees, and so Bayley, she had interrupted Michael Cole and the commentary team, and she was telling Michael Cole that she could do his job better than him. And so yeah, she introduced the Hall of Fame video of the class of 2020. And so they inducted the class of 2020. They had to show the video of the inductees of the 2020 Hall of Fame class. And so yeah, that was it. And then the inductees came out. All the 2020 Hall of Fame inductees came out to the stage. And so yeah, that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna do the 2020. They did the 2020 Hall of Fame inductees tonight at WrestleMania Night 1, and they're gonna do the Night 2. They're gonna do the WWE Hall of Fame 2021 class on Night 2. So yeah, And so yeah, right after this we had a tag team match, and it was The Miz and John Morrison versus Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. And so yeah, we had Booker T. He came out. He was a special guest commentator. And so yeah, Miz and Morrison had came out first. So before the Miz and Morrison came out, they had a bunch of people dressed in mascots, like a bunny mascots, and they were hopping to the ring. And they got into the ring, they started hopping and everything, and then the Miz and Morrison came out to to their rap music, to their diss track to Bad Bunny, the theme music for that. And yeah, terrible, terrible entrance. One of the most worst WrestleMania entrances ever was the Miz and John Morrison. And so yeah, and then Bad Bunny, well, Damian Priest he had came out first. So this is Damian Priest's first WrestleMania entrance and his first WrestleMania. So yeah, it was cool seeing him do his entrance at WrestleMania. And then Bad Bunny had came out next, right after Damian Priest. And so Damian Priest he had came out in well, it was a 18 wheeler, and so he was on top of the 18 wheeler, and so he came out to the ring on that. And so yeah, we started off the match. We had the Miz. He wanted the Bunny to start the match, and so yeah, Damian Priest he was already in the ring, so he tagged out to Bad Bunny. And so yeah, we had Bunny. He gave a jab to the Miz. He clocked him right in his face. He clocked the Miz right in his face with that jab. And so yeah, and we had another jab. So Bunny had jabbed Miz in the face again. And so yeah, and Bunny he was laying it in on the Miz with the punches and stuff. And so we had a knee lift to we had a knee lift to the Bunny, to Bad Bunny from the Miz. And so yeah, we had an arm drag to Miz from Bunny. And then Miz he had took control of the Bunny, of Bad Bunny I mean. Yeah, and we had a tilt-a-whirl head scissors. We had a tilt-a-whirl head scissors to the Miz from Bad Bunny. And we had a big boot to the Miz, not a big boot to the Miz, a boot to the Bunny from the Miz and Morrison. And so yeah, Bunny he was fighting back. He took out Morrison, and then we had a big boot to Bad Bunny from the Miz. And so yeah, John Morrison he was showing off in this match too. He did a spin-a-rooney right in front of Booker T. So Booker T was offended by that. And so yeah, we had kicks to the Bunny from Miz. And so Bunny he was fighting back. He took out Miz and Morrison. And then Bunny he had put off a tornado DDT. So he hit a tornado DDT on the Miz. And so yeah, we had a hot tag to Damian Priest. He took out Miz and Morrison with kicks and clotheslines and corner elbows. And we had Damian Priest. He had his submission, not his submission move, his signature move, the South of Heaven, to the Miz. And then we had stereo Falcon arrows to the Miz and Morrison. To the Miz and John Morrison from Damian Priest and Bad Bunny. And we had Damian Priest, he had his tope con hilo to the Miz and Morrison. And then we had Bunny, he went to the top rope and he did a diving crossbody to the Miz and Morrison. And then we had Damian Priest, he tried to go for his finishing move, the Reckoning, but the Miz had escaped it. He had fought out of it and hit the skull crushing finale on Damian Priest. I thought that was it, but Bunny had stopped the pin. And then we had Bad Bunny. This is probably one of the best parts of the match, man. We had Bad Bunny. He was outside the ring with John Morrison, and not Damian. We had Bad Bunny. He pulled off a Canadian Destroyer. He had a Canadian Destroyer on John Morrison outside of the ring on the floor. So that was the best part of the match, man. The best part of the match. And so we had to end the match. We had a Doomsday Crossbody to the Miz from Damian Priest and Bad Bunny to win the match. So Damian Priest and Bad Bunny, they win the match with, Bad Bunny pinning the Miz, and that was it. This match was long. This match was long, but it was a good match. I'm gonna give it to him. It was a good match. It was a really good match. Bad Bunny, it was a great showing for Bad Bunny. Being able to stay in there with the Miz and Morrison like that long, dude. That was impressive, dude. For his first match, dude, he went that long, man. And and great showing from Damian Priest as always. His first WrestleMania, so happy to see him, have his WrestleMania moment by having his first WrestleMania win. And so yeah, man, that was it with that. And so yeah, right after that, we had the main event, and it was for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And so yeah, it was Bianca Belair, the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks, the legit boss, the blueprint. Sasha Banks, who is the SmackDown Women's Champion. And so yeah, we had Sasha Banks. She had came out with new ring gear. She was wearing all green and black and blue, so she looked really nice. She looked really good. And her hair was green and black and blue and stuff like that. Sasha Banks, she looked cool. And so yeah, we had the crowd, cheering, cheering on his match and everything. And so yeah, Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, they were embracing the crowd reaction and stuff. They were looking into the crowd, looking at their reaction and hearing their reaction. And so they both wanted the crowd. So it was a feel good moment for both of these ladies. And so yeah, they at first they were, filling each other out, trying to one up each other. And so they started pushing and shoving each other. And so yeah, Bianca Belair, she tried to go for a finishing move, the KOD, but Banks had escaped the move. And so yeah, they were reversing each other moves time and time again. And so yeah, we had a tope suicida to Bianca Belair. And so yeah, Bianca Belair, she had caught Banks right off of the tope suicida. She did hit her with the tope suicida, but she recovered from the tope suicida and just lifted up Sasha Banks in like a press position, and she walked up the steps. She walked up the steps and just threw Sasha Banks into the ring. That was really impressive. Really impressive from Bianca Belair. And so yeah, we had Bianca Belair. She did a power slam to Banks, and we had a knee strike to Bianca Belair. And then Belair, at one point she had slammed Banks to the mat like really hard. And then yeah, we had Bianca Belair. Well, we had Banks. She tried to use Bianca Belair's braid against her, playing tug of war with it. But Bianca Belair ended up getting the better of it by sending Sasha Banks into the steps, shoulder first. And so yeah, we had Banks. She was trying to go for the meteor on Bianca Belair while Bianca Belair was on a barricade. And so yeah, she ran towards Bianca Belair and she missed. She missed the meteor. And so her knees went crashing and burning into the barricade. And so yeah, we had Bianca Belair. She had a delayed vertical suplex, like literally a delayed vertical suplex. She held up Sasha Banks in that suplex position for a long time, dude. She was bouncing her off the ropes, like from that side on the other side of the ring, and she kept lifting her up and down and stuff like that. Really impressive from Bianca Belair. And so we had Bianca Belair. She had followed that up with a standing shooting star press to Banks. And so yeah, we had Bianca Belair. She had a glam slam to Sasha Banks, paying homage to Beth Phoenix, the Glamazon. And so yeah, we had Bianca Belair. She tried to go for the 450 splash, but Sasha Banks got the knees up. And then we had a power bomb, not one, two power bombs. We had two power bombs to Sasha Banks, and she kicked out. And then we had Banks. Bianca Belair. She tried to go for a third power bomb, but Sasha Banks, she had, reversed the move and turned it into a face buster. And so yeah, we had a tornado DDT. So yeah, it was a tornado DDT. It was a tornado DDT off of the turnbuckle and then off of the ring ropes. So it was a turnbuckle springboard tornado DDT from Sasha Banks to Bianca Belair. Great move. And so yeah, and we had Bianca Belair. No, not Bianca Belair. We had Sasha Banks. She went to the top rope. She was about to go for the Meteora. She was about to go for the diving Meteora, but she instead turned it into a frog splash, which was a nice move. Great move from Sasha Banks. To turn a Meteora into a frog splash. Very impressive, man. And so yeah, Banks, so yeah, she pinned Bianca Belair, but Bianca Belair, she kicked out of that. And so Sasha Banks, she is mad. She is pissed off. And so she started unloading on Bianca Belair, like laying a beating on her. And so yeah, and so Banks, at this point, I love this part in the match too. We had Sasha Banks. She used Bianca Belair's braid to lock in a bank statement on Bianca Belair. And so Bianca Belair, she had grabbed the rope. And so yeah, they were once again going back and forth in this match. And we had, Bianca Belair. No, we had Sasha Banks. She was trying to go for a meteor in the corner of the ring, but Bianca Belair moved out of the way. So Sasha Banks, her knees went into the turnbuckle pad. And so yeah, we had Bianca Belair. She had hit a 450 splash on Sasha Banks, and Banks had kicked out. And so Bianca Belair, she couldn't believe it. She could not believe it. She was, upset. And so yeah, and so Bianca Belair, she tried to go for the KOD. and then Banks, she had fought out of it, and then at that point, Sasha Banks again tried to use the braid, Bianca Belair's braid, and so they were playing tug of war. They was playing tug of war with Bianca Belair's braid, and so Bianca Belair ended up winning the tug of war. And so she absolutely, I'm telling you, she absolutely whipped Sasha Banks. She whipped Sasha Banks with that braid. And dude, my God, man, that was the loudest. That thing was loud, man. The sound of that whip, man, it was very loud. That thing sounded like a firecracker, man. It was really loud. It was loud. Not even a firecracker. It sounded like a gunshot. That thing was loud, man. So yeah, she hit Sasha Banks with that braid, man. And then she hit the KOD. She hit the KOD, her finishing move to Sasha Banks to win the match. So Bianca Belair wins and is the new SmackDown Women's Champion. And so yeah, that was it, man. And they showed right after the match, they had showed Sasha Banks with that welt, the welt from the whip, the welt from the braid, and you could easily see it, man. Like, oh, it was bad. It did not look good, man. So yeah, Bianca Belair, she wins the match. She wins the match and is the new SmackDown Women's Champion. And that was it. That was it. Great match to end the show. Great showing from both of these ladies. At first, I was going with Sasha Banks to win the match, because, you know, I believe that Sasha Banks should have had a longer reign as champion, because, her and championships, her and championship reigns don't go well together, you know, and yeah, she have a history of, losing the championship quickly. And plus, she never even had a WrestleMania moment, man. She never won a match at WrestleMania. She never won a match at WrestleMania. So that's why I was pulling for Sasha Banks to win a match. And not only that, but I wanted them to continue this feud, play it out into SummerSlam, build up a better feud for SummerSlam. I would have had Sasha Banks retain the title and have Bianca Belair, you know, challenge her again, and this time take the title off of her at SummerSlam. But they didn't go that route. But yeah, but not only have Sasha Banks win, I would have had Sasha Banks turn heel. I would have had her turn heel by cheating to win the match, and then have Bianca Belair complain to management that, hey, I've been screwed over in this championship match. I deserve a rematch. And then we could have our SummerSlam match right there. We would have had our SummerSlam match right there if you would have built it up right. Because this feud, the whole entire WrestleMania feud between Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks, man, the feud was terrible, man. The build up was terrible, but the match itself was great. The match itself was great, but the build up to the match was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. And so that's why I wanted it. That's what I wanted it to be, Sasha Banks to win the match, so we could have had a rematch at SummerSlam. But I'm not gonna complain. I'm not gonna complain. Bianca Belair, she won a match. She does deserve it. Her first championship in WWE, the SmackDown Women's Championship. And yeah, I'm happy. Happy for Bianca Belair that she won. And her family, her mom, her dad, her brother saw her win a championship. So yeah, really, really feel good moment for Bianca. And so yeah, and that was it. That was it with the WrestleMania show. That was it with WrestleMania Night 1. And so yeah, man. And so yep. So yeah, this is the WrestleMania review for 2021 Night 1 on New Ryan Awesome Show. If you like this video, man, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you'll be the first ones to know when my next video will come out, because I'm here each and every single week. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. Follow me on Twitter at Ryan Awesome Show. And comment down below. Tell me how you felt about Night 1 of WrestleMania. And yeah, man, I'll see you guys on Sunday for WrestleMania Night 2, which is looking like to be a better show than Night 1. I can't wait for that triple threat match with Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan and Edge. I can't wait for that match. WrestleMania Night 2 looks like it's going to be better. But yeah, but Night 1, it was good. It was good, but I think WrestleMania Night 2 would be better. But yeah, man, see you guys on Sunday for WrestleMania Night 2. And yeah, man, once again, guys, thank you for the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And this has been the Ryan Awesome Show. Take care, stay safe, and that's that.